What's up, guys? So I just recorded this video and my memory card ran out, so I'm gonna re-record this video. I'm sorry about my unkempt nature. We're out here in Joshua Tree and we're camping out here in the middle of the desert. It's freaking amazing. But yeah, I've been out here for a few days, so my hair's kind of messed up. There's no showers out here, so I'm sorry. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that's really near and dear to me, which is depression from acne, or depression with acne, and just the overwhelming feelings that come up when you have acne, and how it can make you devalue yourself and have a lower self-esteem, and what I have been able to do personally and what you can do to help yourself get away from these feelings and do better with these kind of feelings. So I hope this video is really helpful for you. Really briefly told, because I know a lot of you guys have heard my story before, but on my worst day I had cysts on my face and on my nose, and when I showed up to school, one of my best friends flicked me in the nose, and people immediately called me crater face that morning when I got to school. I had to go in front of a class and give a speech, and I could hear people whispering about my acne, and that day just like really was probably one of the days that I felt the most overwhelmed by my acne. You know, in addition to this, like on a regular day, I would have like a cyst leaking on my face, and I'd find out later when I got to a bathroom, when I got home, you know, things like that. They suck, man. I remember one day I had a girl just come up to me out of nowhere, and she just literally just came up and told me, "You're so ugly, I would never date you." Out of nowhere. When you have to go through these things, and when this is like your everyday life, especially when these people are surrounding you, you know, especially like in my case in high school and younger life, it is hard. It's hard to not, I guess, take their words with weight and value yourself the way that they value you, and allow them to drop your self-esteem. Luckily, by this point, I had already gotten to peaks of my life and peaks of my skill, and realized that I had a lot of value beyond any of this kind of stuff that people are saying about me. Like, for example, I had gotten to like a really high level in soccer where I was drilling myself 6 days a week to be as best as I could with it. I was in this program called Awanas, which was like a memorization program where I was like memorizing Bible verses, and I had memorized so much that they had to create new books in the program because no one had memorized that much. I was really focused. I was homeschooled from beginning of my life until 7th grade, then I skipped 8th grade, and then that's when I went into this public school system that I'm talking about with high school and people who make fun of me. And I had gotten excellent at school. You know, I really did well at school. So I had all these things where I was able to value myself and realize that beyond what these people are saying, doesn't matter if they were there or not, I still did those things and I can still do those things. And that built a lot of independency in me and value in myself that I don't think I maybe would have had as easily. And so I want you to realize that from my perspective, that's also you. It's just that you probably didn't have the same context that I had to be able to be like isolated and focus on yourself so much. But I remember in high school, I remember I'd like wake up and I'd go to the mirror and I'd be like, here's more. Another cyst or another couple of zits have formed. It's almost like somebody had chosen like the perfect place to make them the worst and most obvious things, you know, whether that was like the crease of my nose or at the tips of my lips, or I remember I would get these cysts on my eyelids to the point that like my eye would be less, like it'd be shut a little bit. So, you know, I would think like, man, I have to go to school right now. I have to face these people who are constantly on a day-to-day basis making me feel bad about myself. Thinking about how much people would notice them and talk about them when I got to school, just that in itself was like, it was overwhelming, and it was depressing in a way. Having to do that every single day, it really wears on a person. It can really make you like devalue yourself. And I have people in my DMs and my messages every single day who tell me that like they used to have the highest self-esteem in the world, and now they couldn't be any lower on their self-esteem. They couldn't have lower value of themselves. So that's why I want to make this video, is to tell you guys about what I've been able to do and some of the things that I can recommend that can really help. So one thing that I really want to point out is that a lot of these people who are making you feel this way are focused on extremely shallow things, extremely vain and pointless things. Like, for example, a lot of these kids who would make me feel terrible, that girl, for example, who told me I was ugly, they value themselves off of really pointless things that have nothing to do with your own doing. You know what I mean? What kind of family you come from, what kind of house you live in, what kind of car you drive, what kind of cliques and friends that you have. Like, are you popular? Are you pretty and beautiful? All the things that you didn't do anything for. That's how those people would value themselves. And if you always value yourself on other people's opinions of those vain things, then you're at the whim of those people's opinions and of their, their value systems. And in itself is like the most stressful thing ever, because you don't have security. You're just hoping that people like you. And it was a good thing that I didn't have all those things given to me. I was able to realize that by pushing myself through my own skill sets and pushing myself to do my passions, I was a lot more independent, and I had value in myself beyond what people would talk to me about. In addition to that, by focusing on your passion, focusing on what you like to do and really doing it hard, you'll meet people who are also not those shallow, vain people. You'll meet people who are also focusing on their passions, focusing on what makes them happy, and most likely in the same, niche and skill set and passion that you are in. And you'll build these friendships that are based off of trying hard and doing your best, and all these mature different things that you'll develop from working on yourself rather than these, again, vain value systems. And having those friends was, for me, one of the things that was extremely helpful. Because think about it like this: when I went to school, 5 days a week, these people are constantly getting me all these words and berating me and stuff. If I had nothing else that I was focusing on, it would have been a lot more difficult to not care about what they're saying. But knowing that at the end of the week, on Saturday and Sunday, I was going to play a soccer tournament with my best friends who didn't give a damn about my acne. What they gave a damn about was that I wouldn't let anybody by me in the defense. I would crush them. You know what I mean? And having that deep of a friendship with people, that again helps you value yourself in a different way. And that really, really helped me as well. If you can focus on your own skill set and also focus on who's really, truly a good friend of yours and eliminate the people who are not good friends of yours, that can be something that's really, really helpful. So one of the other things that I think is really valuable is getting out and meditating or spending time on your own, or spending time away from wherever this is that you live and wherever this is where all these people are. And like, for example, I'm here at Joshua Park. I'm in the middle of the desert, you know what I mean? And when you're always in your little circle and you're surrounded by these people that make you feel bad, I mean, that's who's around you. But when you go out somewhere and you maybe you camp, or even if you just go out and you meditate and you go for a walk out into the nature that's around your house or the woods or something like that, it helps you realize that there's a lot more out there than just that building. There's a lot more out there than just those people. You realize that the world's a lot bigger than you think it is. And it makes it easier for you to be like, man, I don't care what Sarah thinks about me in biology class, who always makes fun of my new cysts and zits. Like, she is so focused on shallow and vain things, and if she never changes, she's going to continue doing that, and she's going to be so unhappy with her life. But I just met Speltz. That's terrible. That's not a German name. I just met this German guy, and now I realize that this guy, gave up his huge career and is just walking around America and having the best time in his life, and nothing really matters. He doesn't even have any friends out here. Like, yo, it helps you realize and give you context that other people are not just focused on who's the most popular and what's this, that, and the other about vanity and like cars and house and stuff. Like, none of that stuff matters. And the last thing that I want to say that can really, really help is go and exercise. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, exercising, it's not really my thing. I know. I was definitely, I took it for granted, the fact that throughout my entire life, have always exercised really hard. Up until 15 years old, I was doing soccer every single day. And so I was doing 6 days a week of cardio. And then after soccer, I moved on to bodybuilding. So every single day I was lifting. So I just naturally was already getting my exercise and didn't realize how good it was for me and what it was doing for my body. But every human body needs exercise for so many different reasons. For me, getting into the gym after or that soccer, after hearing all these people and being around these people and having my heads filled with these people's opinions and stuff, instead I would go and work out, and it was something I could do on my own that didn't matter whether or not someone had made fun of me that day. I was gonna go and work out. And doing that, I would exhaust myself not only physically, but also mentally. I would process these motions on a better level. And by the time I was done working out, I was so fatigued that and so worked through my thoughts and stuff that I was like overthinking about it. You know what I mean? Like I had already processed it on such a high level that I was fatigued about thinking about it. So it didn't even matter anymore. I was ready to move on to the next day or move on to the next thing. When you exercise, your body releases all sorts of things like norepinephrine, noradrenaline. Those things make you feel like a champion. And not only that, your body is able to have a more regular hormonal panel, so meaning like your hormones are more in check when you exercise every single day. And that in itself is also something that makes you feel better about yourself, something that your body needs to do. And when you don't do it, you just sit around and stuff, it's like not drinking enough water or not sleeping enough. Like your body needs these things, and when you don't do those things, you're going to feel worse off. If you're feeling kind of bad that day, you're going to feel extra bad because you're dehydrated. If you don't exercise, it's going to be the exact same thing. I would definitely recommend that. If I can recommend a few different things, exercising is going to help you a lot. Yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here just so that I don't keep going and rambling, because I know that I can definitely talk up a storm. I hope I was able to convey my ideas and my words correctly here, because by taking these strategies that I've talked about and trying to do your absolute best and give your body and mind the absolute best context that it can have, you can really change the way that you process things and the way that you have a perspective and the way that you look at things, as well as you can give yourself an easier way to feel good about yourself, to value yourself, and just a better way for your body to be healthy and feel good. As you process it more and more and you understand it more and more, your perspective changes and it does get better. If we could just put all of Team Acne in a room, you would be so elated with good feelings, because every single person in there would understand and realize that there are tons and tons of these people out there. There are so many good people out there. Man, I hope this video was helpful for you. Those are just a few of the things that I've been able to identify that have helped me a lot with dealing with the emotions that come up through acne. If you have anything that you'd like to add to this, I know so many people have so many different strategies and stuff. Please leave them in the comments for other people to read. I know that is a really, really helpful thing for people to do. So if you have anything to add to this, please drop them down there. I do want to make more of these because I have a lot of different things to say about this. So if you guys would like to see it, I'd love to do that. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up so more people can see it. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Team Beyond the Week. CD.
Lift heavy or die MIRIN, motherfucker.
Team Beyond the Week.